So I feel like I'm more of the keynote enthusiast than the keynote speaker. But I just want to thank all of you for coming out today. Today's building challenges, we're not talking about people in sweaters figuring out, geez, can I be a little colder? You talk to people who, and I had the pleasure of looking around, this is how much of an energy wonk I am, looking around a Zero Net Energy home in Westport, Massachusetts over this weekend. In fact, yesterday I was down there visiting a friend of mine, and his father has put a lot of time into doing that. But you're no longer talking about people saying, well, you know, can I be a little chillier, the drafts and all the rest. You're actually talking about people who are absolutely living what everyone wants to live in terms of a very normal home, but they're doing it in a way that they're essentially not paying anything for their electricity bills. Now, I consider that to be a great deal and something we should all be enthusiastic about. And the more we can communicate this to say these are clearly people who are very motivated and excited, but what they're doing is wonderfully American and wonderfully simple. I mean, the idea that you're going to have a home that generates as much energy as it uses is fantastic. We live in a world where we import a lot of our energy from around the world, not always from nations that share our values. We've got a law of the land in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which is that we have to cut our greenhouse gas emissions by 80% by the year 2050. Virtually all the homes that are standing today in Massachusetts will still be standing in 2050, so we have an enormous challenge to get that right. And even in today's economy, when you've got a historic recession, economic conditions, you've got oil trading at $70 a barrel. So, even in this economic scene, the world is expecting high and volatile prices for fossil fuels. So for energy independence, for our climate challenges, for moving away from fossil fuels, we have every reason to celebrate the leadership of people who are taking it on. And watching the video and seeing you out in the audience, the amount of fun you're having, it's fantastic. We congratulate you. We in Massachusetts, Governor Patrick has really made this a priority. He launched a Zero Net Energy Building Task Force, and we had a lot of participation from the industry and many different professionals across the Commonwealth. Came back with some great recommendations to us about advanced building codes, performance standards in terms of how much energy is used per square foot, and also some recommendations that we get out and lead by example ourselves. So I was happy to say that earlier this year we indicated that we'll be building 3 Zero Net Energy state buildings, state office buildings in the coming months. My friends in the Fish and Game Department are exuberantly excited about a new Fish and Game headquarters building that'll be Zero Net Energy. So we're trying to do it here in Massachusetts. I guess the last thing I just would say to all of you is that you find yourself in a position of great leadership, not only within your state, but within the nation. Just on Friday, with a squeaker of a vote, the Congress voted to the first body of Congress ever to pass a sweeping greenhouse gas bill. Very exciting, led by Ed Markey, our own member of Congress from north of here, and really a sweeping measure for the Congress to take on, and in many ways do and encourage around the nation what Massachusetts has really already done. We're in a place where our greenhouse gas emissions are already relatively stable compared to 1990 levels. They need to go down by 80%, but we're not 20 or 30% above where most of the rest of the nation is. We've got an advanced building code, the 2009 International Energy Conservation Code. We've just seen our colleagues in state government adopt a stretch code that's going to allow municipalities to opt in and go even further. And you've got people like Governor Patrick out launching Zero Net Energy task forces and really figuring out what is the pathway to broad commercialization of this important technology. So I want to thank you all really for the time and effort. I'm tremendously impressed. It's remarkable. And I also want to, before I close, acknowledge a couple of people who I know have worked on this. Phil Giudice is the DOER Commissioner, Clean Energy Entrepreneur turned star public servant. So Phil, thank you. And I just want to thank all my partners in the utilities and all of my colleagues in state government for their support today. I couldn't be more happy to spend a little bit of my time today celebrating the remarkable leadership of all the individuals that you're showcasing today. What you're doing is very important to me and certainly very important to the Commonwealth and to all of our kids and grandkids. So I thank you all and have a wonderful day.